I'm getting an $18 haircut today. It's at a beauty school, so it'll be like a student doing it. And I feel like I'm pretty low risk. Like asking for long layers, I can't really get botched. So I'm kind of excited. It's $18 and there's like a strict no tipping rule. It's the first time I've done this and I'm excited. The streak that I have had with errands these past few weekends is insane. So I get to the mall early to the beauty school because I didn't know exactly where it was. I was about 15 minutes early, which should be enough time to find where you're going. I was wandering around the mall so much. I was using my maps, like Apple Maps, Google Maps, like cross-referenced. I was like looking at the numbers of the suites, trying to find where this thing was, and I could not find it. So it comes to be 10:15, which is when my appointment was. So I call the number and I was like, can you help me? I'm so lost. I don't know where I'm at, but like my appointment is right now. And it was a person at the main location who I was talking to, so not like where I was going. She was giving me directions. She was like, tell me what you're by. She was telling me the direction to walk in. She was like, go to Bloomingdale's, go all the way down the escalators, blah, blah, blah. You'll go past the Atlanta police station. Like that'll be the salon location. Then you need to keep walking. So many directions, but I was like, okay. And I was zooming. I was absolutely zooming. I'm still talking to her until like 10:23 or so. So I was like, could you let them know, or like, could you forward me or somehow so I can let them know that I'm on my way? Because I was 8 minutes late at that point, and I do not run late to appointments. Like that stresses me out. She was like, no worries, like I'll let them know, just good luck. So I was like, okay, thank you. And I really tried to follow her directions. I was still getting so lost. Like I was walking laps around the like outside of the mall, because that was the issue. I was inside the mall and it was an exterior entrance, so I had to like get to the right location, and then I was on the wrong level, and like so much going on. Eventually 10:30, 15 minutes late to my appointment, I found it and I walked in and I went to the person at the desk and I was like, I'm so sorry I'm so late. And she goes, oh, that's okay, unfortunately. And I thought she was gonna say like, unfortunately you're too late, we can't do your appointment. And I was like, honestly, that makes sense at that point. Like I was 15 minutes late to my haircut. She actually goes, unfortunately we don't have enough students working today, so we weren't gonna be able to cut your hair. And I was like, oh, what? And she was like, yeah, no, unfortunately we can't do your appointment anyways. And in my head I was like, I looked at my phone to see how much I'd walked. I'd walked 1.5 miles very briskly trying to find this place. Like I was sweating a little bit when I went in, not a whole lot. And she was like, we could reschedule you. So I was like, when could you reschedule me for? And she could reschedule me for Monday. And she was saying like Monday morning, which we're not flying out till Monday night, so technically I could have, but at that point I just like didn't want to. So I was like, I'm traveling for Christmas, like I'll just look online when I get back. So if you like my haircut, you can thank the girl that did it in March. I just like, that's such a random errand failure to happen. Also, if you know you don't have enough students, why wouldn't you tell me that? And it's not on the person who was giving me directions, because she wasn't at that location, so she didn't know. But it took me going there, checking in, and then as I walked out, I got a text that was like, your appointment's been canceled. So that was unsuccessful. After that, I did browse around Macy's a little bit. Malls at Christmas time are just so fun. I browsed around Macy's. I did get a coat that I'll show you that I'm actually excited for, because I feel like usually whenever things are cold, I just like layer up on jackets, and we're going to Iowa next week where it's going to be cold, so I'd like to have a coat. And then also it definitely gets cold enough here that I could use a coat too, and I don't know why I haven't gotten one. But it was Macy's Backstage, which apparently is their like kind of TJ Maxx-ish thing. It's like in the basement and everything's like very cheap, but it said like in-store off price or something like that. So it's a coat from the junior section of Macy's Backstage. I think it's really cute. It was $20, $19.99, so that was a win. And then I was walking by so many Starbuckses in the mall, and I was like, I should get a peppermint mocha, because I don't, trigger warning with my peppermint mochas, but I was like, that just feels so nostalgic, like being in the mall at Christmas time, sipping on a peppermint mocha from Starbucks. But I was like, no, there's this coffee place that I've been wanting to try, so I'm not gonna get coffee now, I'll get coffee there. So I left and I went to a bookstore, because all of the books that I showed you that I was gonna unhaul in the last vlog that you would have seen, I took all of those to the bookstore. I got about $12 in credit, which is awesome. And I got, this is the book that I got today with it. Lucy Score's Story of My Life. It's on my to-read list, or like on my radar, because I don't know if it was top 20 or top 10 for the Goodreads Choice Awards, but it's a romance, and so I figured might as well. It's got little sprayed edges. So I got that book and I browsed around a lot, and that filled my brain. It did. It filled my cup back up. And then I got back in my car and put in the location of the coffee that I wanted to try, because it's this like pop-up truck that's been in a parking lot in Decatur, and they're known for their tahini date latte, which I don't know if I would like that. Like I can't picture what a tahini date latte would taste like, but everyone has been saying like it's so good. And so I added them in my list in my head of what I was gonna do today. I was like, I'm gonna go get a tahini date latte. I put it in Maps and it says temporarily closed. And I was like, oh wait, that's weird. Why? Because I'd looked at hours earlier and it said Saturday and Sunday 8 to 3. It really is just a pop-up, so they're not like a full coffee store at all. It's just like a truck in a parking lot. So I go to their Instagram and they've closed for the holidays. They're gonna come back in January. So I came home instead. All that to say, I came home. I left here 2.5 hours ago and I have one book to show for it. That's okay. I'll be fine. I'm never running errands ever again. I never showed you the coat that I got yesterday because I left it in the trunk. Or really, I put it in the trunk of the car whenever I was like leaving the mall, which if I ever am running errands, after running errands, I always put stuff in the trunk because I swear it like reduces the risk of getting my car broken into. I don't actually know if that's true, but we live in Atlanta and knock on everything, have never had our car broken into. Try to keep stuff out of sight, not keep anything important in there. But I forgot it in the trunk because it was in the trunk and not just in the seat next to me. But this is the coat I got. I think it's so cute. It was $19.99 and it's like cropped a little bit and then has a drawstring, and I have a shorter torso, so usually coats and jackets hit me like mid butt or just kind of a weird spot, but this one hits me like right here, like right where it should. So I am loving that. I also, since you've seen me last, have been absolutely sprinting to finish this book. Really, it's felt like a marathon. It's felt like an endurance race. It's The Holiday Romance that I've talked about in a few videos by Hannah Grace. I really liked it. It was a good time. I think it was too long for me. Like it had probably like 60 pages that could have gotten cut out, especially since it's a holiday romance. Like towards the end, it really did just feel like an endurance exercise, because I was like, I feel like I already know what's gonna happen. Why are you making me read 60 pages to get there? And it was a lot of like work heavy stuff, which is not the vibes that I have right now being on winter break. Actually, if you want to see my vibes for winter break, I took screenshots of this. My sleep score was 100 last night for the first time ever. I've gotten like 90s. I get pretty consistently 85 to 95, I would say 100. And my little dynamic recovery score, 97. I was made to have a winter break. I had to make up my winter break because working in healthcare, you don't just get that, but my week of PTO that I'm taking, I was made for this. We're about to head out. We've literally just been sitting on the couch so far today. It is 10:07, starting out with a rot. It's been lovely, but I finished the book and then I've just been like watching YouTube videos, like true body rot. It's been wonderful. We're gonna go work out. We're gonna go do a push day today, which will be good, but I just know I'm gonna have to like literally be pushing my body. So I'm gearing up for that, for the effort that I am about to have to expend. And then I haven't talked about this with Zach yet, but I want to go get like a little coffee at a coffee shop afterwards. So we'll have to see what he says, but I imagine he'll say yes. I imagine.
Why don't you just say it against your coffee?
So my coffee's not in it.
The vibes.
Ignore the ball on top of my head. I ran at the gym. I do not know the last time I've run. If I really think about it, I think it's been like 2 years. But I was on the elliptical and then I got kind of bored. So I moved to the treadmill to walk because I was like, okay, I'll just like walk and read. And as I was walking, I was like, I feel like I could do more. And so I just turned up the speed a little bit and jogged. I only jogged a mile because my pants were falling off. I really needed to pee. I was wearing my lifting shoes, which are like very flat and not running. And then my hair tie also was just like slowly sliding down my ponytail, so my hair was going all over the place. So very much not optimal conditions, but it felt good. That's why I was all like pink-faced and a little sweaty, which was fun because all of the like lifting we've been doing lately definitely is a workout. Doesn't make me like sweat, heart rate high for an extended period of time sweat. Already said that. Red face. So I kind of liked that in the gym today. I know I already said it. I'm thriving on winter break. There's a couple things. Let's see. It's 1:42 right now. Ooh, which means football has started. It's what, the playoffs, the finals, the championship, and it's me versus Zach in the league. He's seeded 1, I'm seeded 2. Things are going better for him as of right now than they are for me, but we'll see how next week goes. The things that I want to still do today, I'm gonna do a power hour of cleaning because since we're about to travel, I would love to come back from travel already having everything feel like fresh and clean, especially since we're getting so close to the new year. In my head, whenever we come back from traveling, that's when the new year begins, even though it's not. There's still a few days of December. But vibes-wise, that's what I'm feeling. So I'd love to just like clean and refresh now. I don't know if I have it in me to do everything, but I could definitely do a power hour. Also, I need to pack the gifts that we're bringing when we travel because I wrapped quite a few of them, which I think was good, but they still have to make it in a suitcase, and I don't know how best to do all of that. And then also we have some gifts that are not yet wrapped, so I'm going to figure out, like, I feel like the ones in boxes with wrapping paper could probably go in the suitcase, but maybe the ones in gift bags I need to take out of the gift bag so that the gift bag doesn't smush. That's kind of what I'm thinking, but we're going to figure that out. I kind of think we might just have a suitcase of gifts that we're checking, which might be good because then we'll have room coming back if there is anything like additional that we are acquiring, but I need to do that. And then lastly, my memory card just filled up, so that honestly was perfect because I was just forced into a little digital detox deleting pretty much everything off my camera that I don't need anymore, which was lovely. What I was gonna say is, and lastly, it's been on my mind a lot of just like wanting to sort of mentally just get my thoughts in order for like, you know, the new year. Great time for reflection and for like redirection, and I think I'm gonna spend some time today doing just like a little bit of that preparation because this new year I'm heading into it entirely different with like an entirely different mindset, and because I've already thought kind of that part through, I want to get going. I don't want to wait until like we're gone and we come back and then try to get my thoughts all together because I'm kind of worried like what if I forget my thoughts. So I kind of want to start that now, even though it's a little bit early for like new year resetting. And I also want to get my thoughts together before I fully tell you what I mean by an entirely new mindset. But this is big. This is a big shift. An hour and 12 minutes later, and the kitchen's clean, my bathroom's clean, things are vacuumed, clutter's put away. I feel quite nice about this. We just have the presents. The presents to handle. And as you can see, like, I bagged stuff up already. And that's the part that I might have to undo, because this should all be fine, I would think. I need to organize my thoughts real quick and then I'll tell you what we got, people. I think we're good. Actually, the only things I need to figure out, wrapping this, which should be easy because it's a box. It's for Zach's uncle, and it is like a Lego version of University of Iowa's stadium. 904 pieces. That's pretty cool. And then this is a Milwaukee Bucks blanket for his cousin that I feel like if I roll it tight enough, it should be able to fit in the bag. If you're curious, the other things we got, people. This is for Zach's aunt. We went to, oh, I don't remember its name, Garage Studio, maybe, in Avondale Estates, and just got some like local, I mean, this is a bath bomb, bath salts, and then down here is a candle, Peaceful Partridge candle. Not a super Christmassy bag, but I think it's a cute bag. It was pretty much the same thing that we got for his cousin. Bath salts, bath bomb, and then this cutie ceramic dish that I feel like has so many different uses, but it's just pretty, by a local artist. I don't know how to place this to make sure that she'll open this and it's not just like part of the tissue paper. Maybe if it's the first thing, because she'll pick it up and I'll like have some weight. These are already wrapped, but both of these are presents for Zach's dad. I was so proud of wrapping this one. It's hot sauce, if you can't tell, but it's like, I can't remember its name now. It's an Atlanta hot sauce. We just all about the local things because like, what do you get people that have what they need? Like grown people, if they need something, they get it, you know? So hot sauce. And then this is a little like avocado smasher. I think it was called guac rock. Guac rock. Yeah, that's right. For making guac. Little smasher in a bowl. So small enough that I think it'll be useful, but he wouldn't have necessarily like got it for himself. This is to Zach's grandparents and we got them just this pretty little like stained glass bird that goes on the side of a vase. They're about to be downsizing, so we wanted to respect like not getting, you know, something that takes up a lot of space, but they really like nature and nature watching, and we thought that this little bird would just be like something guaranteed pretty in the new home. These two are our white elephant gifts. My tape started coming off. I thought this was kind of funny to use like baby wrapping for one of the white elephants. We'd had this wrapping paper from I think like a cousin's birthday present that we've been wrapping before. This one is an animal calendar. It's like a cartoon animal bikini calendar is what it is, which I think is cute and funny enough for white elephant. And then the other thing I put in a bag because we want to put a can of something, whatever can we can find, in this for the white elephant, but it's just literally a parka for a can. Like it's like a cozy, but it is a parka. And then lastly of the gifts that we're bringing, this one doesn't quite fit in its gift bag, but we did our best. It's this tote and it's made out of recycled jute, handmade from Uncommon Goods, that I feel pretty proud of this find. Like I feel like this is a good mother-in-law gift, really. I'll wrap it up for this bag though. Oh, this is the other thing we got Zach's cousin. Zach thought it was so cute. It's socks in here. It says Hoppy Camper. Established 1986. Wear responsibly. Serve warm. No water used. 0% alcohol. 100% comfort. So we thought that was cute. That blanket is like the exact height of this bag. So I'll have to be a little creative with the tissue paper. That works.
I didn't qualify. I had still 100 others.
The very first entry in this journal is from 4.5 years ago. It was fall 2021, before I started grad school, and it was me journaling for my dream life. Journaling your dream life for your future self, not in like any kind of manifestation way, like not like that, but just more so in like being able to visualize what you want so that then you can, you know, take the steps you need to actually get there, whether that's like a short term what you want or long term what you want, just like your ideal dream life. Relationships, career/project, mental growth, physical health, adventure/life experiences, and lifestyle. And so you just kind of go through like each of them and kind of do different, just what you want. You just write what you want. And that is what I would like to do to start preparing the mindset for the new year, because I don't think I've ever like read it back. So what I want to do is I'm going to read it and I'm going to make like 3 lists, and I'm going to have them be basically like things that still spark joy, things that no longer feel true, and then maybe things that came true. It's kind of my thought. And I'll start my reflection there and see where it goes. I haven't journaled in a really long time, but I feel like just the jumble of thoughts that I am having, I think it could do really well. So I'm going to find a like motivational New Year's playlist is what I'm going to look for. Just kidding. All of these are like upbeat. Maybe if I do inspirational, that feels like more of a calm vibe. Okay, creative inspirational mix. That's fine. It seems like it's a lot of soundtracks. Okay, yeah, you know what? Just read some of those songs. Like, I think I'm gonna find a new one. I don't think that's what I'm going for. Happy inspirational mix is like I Lived, One Republic, Born This Way, Lady Gaga, I'm Still Standing from Sing, Better When I'm Dancing, Megan Trainor. That's not what I'm going for. What if I just do my chill mix? Chill, happy mix. I think that's as close as I'm gonna get to what I'm shooting for. No, wait, I don't think I'm just being picky. This guy, aren't there like some crazy allegations about him? I feel like that's not, happy, chill, vibin'. And this one is not made by Spotify, it's made by a person. Starting with Ophelia by the Lumineers. I will take this. This is what I'm looking for. It's the weirdest thing having a flight at 9:15 p.m. because I keep having to remind myself that I have a whole day today. Like, I woke up and I was like, oh, today's the day we're traveling. But like, not really, because we don't need to leave for the airport until like 6:30, and that would be early. So I'm just having to eat what's left in the fridge. I'm gonna have this little yogurt for breakfast and the rest of this cottage cheese. Maybe an egg or 2 if that's not enough. My journaling yesterday went lovely. It was lovely. And I'm excited to talk. It's gonna be, when I get back is when I'm gonna fully dive into it. So I'm excited to talk about like thoughts for the new year, what my plans are. But with journaling that I did yesterday, something that was really cool was out of those columns that I made, the sparks joy, no longer true, and came true was the longest by far. And part of that's just because of where I was at in life back then versus now. But I was talking about things back then, like doing grad school well. I've done it. It's like so far in the past now. Doing my internship was about to start whenever I had done it last time. Be married, check. Something I thought was sweet. These are direct quotes from what I journaled when I was journaling my dream life in 2021. I want a fulfilling social work job where I can connect with others, empower others, and make some sort of change. A job I can give my all to, but doesn't take all of me. I feel like that's true. And then I had other things like continue YouTube, get monetized on YouTube, get licensed in social work, read for fun, be active most days, value rest, have yummy foods, feel good, travel, and all those things just feel like my life now. So that was like very, I don't even know if it was like healing or if it was just like validating to sit down and do. After that, I kind of just started, I don't even know what you would call this, like word clouding. Like I was just writing down like things that were in my mind, not in sentences, literally just in the words. Because I do feel like I'm in this like little transition. I guess this is going a little deeper into it than I thought I would, but I'm in this little transition because I'm 25 now and I'm turning 26 like right at the beginning of 2026. So I'm officially like in the second half of my 20s. I guess I already have been, but officially in those like later, higher than 25 20s. And so I kind of was just thinking yesterday how like I felt like early 20s was like building scaffolding, like building the container of my life. Like I was working to do what I needed to get a career. I was working, I mean, our relationship's been stable this whole time, but now we are like literally married and have done a wedding. So just like building that. I have stability. I've lived in the same place now for longer after college than I lived somewhere during college. Part of that was due to COVID, but like I have a home, not that we own, but like that is stable. And so early 20s felt like it was like building the scaffolding, and now I'm kind of transitioning into the later 20s section, which is going to be more of like just filling up the container of life that I have built. So I just wrote a lot of like I have been doing, now I want to be. It'll be a little bit of like redefining success. More on who I am, less on what I'm doing. Make smart choices because that's who I am, not just because I'm breadcrumbing myself to a final destination. I wrote pointing, not chasing, because I kind of want to like point in the right direction, but not be trying to predict the future and like chase future goals in the same way that I have been doing. Because I think that that is just like acknowledging the different part of life that I am becoming into. So I think that journaling was really helpful because even though it's not everything that I wanted to do, it's a lot of what I wanted to do, and it's a lot of thoughts that are now down on this book. And I think that whenever we do leave for our travels, our few days of travels tonight, all of that feels kind of like unloaded off of my mind. I have been on the couch today. That is all I've been doing. I've been on the couch and I have continued with my little journaling. I've been journaling like content plans for the new year. Again, just trying to like unload my mind so that whenever we travel, I'm just good. I don't have thoughts that are bouncing around. Zach's gonna come home pretty soon and we're gonna go do legs, which is a choice before sitting on a plane. But we had a misunderstanding this morning, which looking back makes sense, I feel like, from both of our perspectives. Usually during the week, we wake up at 4:55 and go to the gym, probably like 5:10, 5:15-ish. And on the weekend, we usually just kind of like wake up when we wake up and go to the gym, maybe like between 8 and 9. And since it's winter break for me, since I have this entire week off and we're not leaving till tonight, in my head, I was like, oh, so Monday's just like a weekend day. Like we'll just kind of wake up whenever we wake up and then we'll go to the gym, come back, that's the start of the day, sort of like we did both Saturday and Sunday. So rewind to this morning. This morning, I start getting some taps on my arm as I'm asleep. And I remember in my sleep saying, and Zach didn't answer, but he like kept tapping my arm. So I committed to like bringing my brain out of sleep and I like rolled over and I was like, what, Zach? He was totally asleep, passed out, just like waking me up in his sleep, which is actually not the first time that has happened. I feel like it's such a weird quirk. It's been a while since it's happened, but he was totally asleep. That was 4:15 in the morning, which is far too early for anything. So I like got up, like used the bathroom, like went back to bed, but wasn't able to fall asleep. Finally, probably around like 4:35, 4:40 is when I actually ended up falling back asleep. And then I kind of remember a little bit after that, Zach getting out of bed. But if he wakes up earlier than me, like on the weekend, like he'll come out and sit out here and let me continue sleeping. So I like remember being aware that he was leaving, but also was like, great, I'll just continue my sleep. Give it like 5 minutes. Zach's in the bathroom with the light on in the bathroom, door open, brushing his teeth. And then he's like kind of banging around, like opening cabinets, opening drawers. And I remember in my head being like a little annoyed because I was like, oh, now I'm awake again because you're being loud. And usually that doesn't happen. Usually he is like so mindful of if I'm asleep. So I was like, that's weird. And then he came over and started like rubbing my back, but not in the like, oh, you're asleep way, like rubbing it, like waking me up type of way. And in my head again, I was like, this is the rubbing it that's not going to make me feel relaxed. And I'm trying to finally go back to sleep after you woke me up at 4:15 in the morning. But I was determined. I like kept my eyes closed. I was like, if I just stay still, he'll leave. And so eventually he did like leave and he like walked back to the bathroom and I think he was like brushing his hair or something, but the light was still on. So finally I like opened my eyes and I was like, hey Zach, can you like shut the bathroom door so the light's not shining in my eyes while I sleep? He was so confused. He was like, aren't you getting out of bed to go to the gym? And I was like, why would I be getting out of the bed to go to the gym? It is like 5 a.m. during winter break. I didn't realize he was going into work today. My misunderstanding came from the fact that I just assumed because I have the whole week off, he also was going to take today off too. And his is more flexible. flexible because it's like his PhD program, so it's like research and it's a little more self-guided, but also like he has to be there doing stuff in order to progress. I don't think we ever talked about like actually Monday, because we know we're leaving tonight, like late in the night, but I think it kind of goes along with how I was saying, like having a flight at 9:15 p.m. I just feel like the whole day is a travel day, even though really there's a whole day and then we're traveling very much into the night. So in his head, he was just like assuming like this is the beginning of a work week, beginning of a work day. We're gonna do our typical routine, wake up at 4:55, go to the gym. And in my head, I was like, this is winter break. This is an extension of the weekend. So we didn't talk about it. Usually, even before we go to sleep, we'll like confirm whenever the other person's alarm is set for and like have our plan. And we didn't do that. And I think this just shows that like we need to always do that. Because I really I was like, how disrespectful. Like I'm asleep right now and there is light shining in my eyes and he is not trying to be quiet. But I should have known then, because like if he's really waking up before me and like I'm continuing to sleep, he is careful. He doesn't wake me up. And then the misunderstanding from his part, honestly, I'm not waking up at 4:55 to go to the gym if I'm not working that day and don't have to. All that to say, he's coming back around 2. It's 1:17 right now, and we're gonna go to the gym and do legs then. So no harm, no foul. I keep thinking in my head of like things I could do. Like I could pack now. I just don't really want to. I kind of want to sit on the couch. I might do some stretches so that I feel good and don't just feel like I've been sitting on the couch whenever we actually go and do legs, because I don't know what kind of workouts we'll be doing, if any, whenever we're in Iowa. But I really am just trying to channel the winter break vibes of like when I was in school and had a winter break. You could lounge around and do nothing, and that was totally fine. And I actually haven't even been lounging around doing nothing. I've been lounging around and like planning things. So actually, maybe I need to lounge around and do nothing for a little bit until it's time to go work out. We're gonna leave for the airport early and get Bantam and Biddy at the airport because we love that. And I'm gonna stay here on the couch until I have to get up.